we've come quite a long way in this series about programming a text adventure in Java. Before moving on, I want to take a little bit of time to summarize the structure of my code and also to point out some of the differences between programming in Java and in C#. In my book on adventure game programming, most of the big sample projects are written in the C# language. Well, that's very, very similar in many ways to Java. But to translate C# to Java or Java to C#, there are some important differences that you need to understand. And so I want to cover a few of those differences as well in this video. First, let me go over the game as it stands at present. I've created this hierarchy of classes. Thing, which has a name and a description, and it's the ancestor of all the other game classes. Well, currently it only has 2 descendant classes, but later on I'll add more. Then there's room, and the room class descends from thing, or in Java terms, it extends thing. So it inherits name and description, and it adds on 4 integer variables representing the room exits, north, south, west, and east. These index into a typed array list of rooms. Let's have a look into the game class here. So I've got this typed array list of room objects, and that's my map. So if a room has an n variable with the value 0, that shows it has an exit in the north direction to the room at index 0, which is the first item, the first room object in the map. So here, for example, I can see that cave goes north to troll room. This was explained in the previous lesson in this series. And then there's actor. Now, actor also descends from thing, so it too inherits name and description. It adds a room variable, and that stores the current location, the room object, of the actor object. An actor could be any interactive character capable of moving around the map and later on of taking and dropping treasures. Now, in my game, the only actor is the game player. The person actually playing the game is represented by an actor object. But you could add other interactive characters if you wanted. One thing I haven't previously mentioned is the way I've put the code units into packages. I've created one unit, one Java file per class, as you can see over here. Now, the actor, room, and thing class have then been placed into the game objects package, which in NetBeans is shown as a node over in this projects window here. My globally available direction enum has been put into the globals package, and the game class, game.java, that's put into the game package. The default package contains adventuregame.java. You can see it's listed here as default package. And the adventuregame.java, well, that just contains the main loop where the game starts. It sets the game going by creating a game object. If we have a quick look at it, and it creates the game object, and then it continues running the game until the user enters queue to quit. So what exactly is a Java package? Now, a Java package defines a named region or namespace in which related code can be grouped together. Packages fulfill a similar role to the named folders on your computer's hard disk. Your disk folders may be grouped together to store related data files. Your Java packages group together related code. In fact, Java packages are often placed into disk folders that have the same names as the packages themselves. And the package name, if you look at the, let's have a look at the room.java. So here you can see the package name up here is put at the top of the code unit package, and game objects is the name of the package. Now, in fact, NetBeans, if you happen to be using that IDE, has a context menu. I can go up here and I can right-click, New, and select Java package. And I can use the dialog to help me create a package without doing it all sort of longhand. Now, when your program needs to use code in a package, it can either import a single class using the package name, then the class name, and let's have a look at, let's go to game.java, and you can see examples here. It imports actor by putting game objects, the name of the package, then a dot, and then actor, the same with room. and then from the globals package it imports direction, or it can import all the classes in a package by putting an asterisk. You can see that's an example here. I need the array list from this package, java.util. And then an asterisk. If you've been following the C# code in my adventure game book, you might be wondering where my Java properties are declared. You can see part of my C# version of an adventure game that accompanies the little book of adventure game programming. And you can see that the room class here has properties such as n, s, w, e to get and set the values of the fields that store the exit values. Now, here in C#, I declare a public property, n for example, which gets and sets the value of the private variable _n. Now, Java doesn't have a direct equivalent of these sorts of properties. So if I go back to my Java code, you can see this is room as declared in Java. And the usual way for Java to handle this is to declare a pair of get and set methods that start with get or set, as you can see here, and then the name of the associated variable. And that's what I've done here. Room has a variable n, so I've declared the methods getN and setN. Okay, so that's a quick summary of the code so far. In the next lesson, we'll need to start adding some treasures to the rooms in the map. Download the source code for these lessons from bitwisebooks.com. This Java series is based on the C# programs that form the basis of the little book of adventure game programming available from Amazon.